So for this deck spotlight, we jump back into one of my favorite classes to play, and that is Assassin. I've been working on a new or updated version of the mid-range tempo list that I've played in the past, and I finally found one that's working. It's a little bit non-traditional. You may notice as you're kind of eyeballing it that there are no Daggerfall mages, for example, and that's because this one is very heavy on tempo combined with reach. I've been affectionately calling this one the long arm of the law, or just long-armed assassin, because it has reach. That's the point. So right out of the gate, you'll notice that it has your traditional openers for a curse package based tempo list. So that means curse, goblin skulk. We do run a couple of Murkwater shamans, and then on the back end there is still Leaf Lurker, there is still Shearpoint Dragon. So we have the tempo package where you get on the board and then you're using the free tempo generated from the curses and the additional abilities of Shearpoint and Leaf Lurker to continue to keep your opponent's creatures off the board while playing bodies for yourself to snowball your position. Now, in the past, when I've played decks like this, I've usually also included things like Daggerfall Mage to further kind of play that mid-range strategy where you would snowball and take value trades. But this time around, while we do have Wardcrafter, Daggerfall is gone. Our 3-slot has some new friends. We've got Camlorn Hero and House Kinsman, and that's because these two cards represent additional reach. And when I say reach, if you're not familiar with the term, what I actually mean is the ability to do direct damage to your opponent's face and bypass guards or creatures or other effects. So Camlorn Hero, pretty obvious, put it into play, it does 2 damage. House Kinsman has the Last Gasp effect, which a lot of times your opponent will try to either silence it or play around it and not give you a way to sacrifice it. But late game, you can play a House Kinsman into a pretty full lane and then play another creature to sacrifice it to force the 3 damage to the face. So it's like pseudo reach. It's been pretty consistent. It's very, very good at threatening just enough extra damage that people kind of struggle to deal with it, and it's very nice in like mid-range mirrors or even some aggressive matchups where the health gain that you get from the Kinsman can really kind of put you ahead in the race. So the rest of the deck is pretty straightforward if you've ever played a mid-range or a tempo assassin list. Mystic Dragon is there largely because it's one of the best prophecies in the game. It might be the best thing you can hit on the first rune that's not named Cloudrest Illusionist. We do still have Cliff Racer, Nkano, and Tazcad as finishers. These also provide some great reach for us, as does Lightning Bolt, the intelligence staple. One last card that may jump out at you is I do run 1 copy of Heirloom Greatsword. This card does also provide some reach, but it's kind of cheeky because late game, if they don't have a silence or a way to get rid of the Greatsword, it makes it so that any threat you play represents a lot of damage. So if you're running out of resources and you're only playing like 1 small creature at a time, like if it's late game and you only have a Shrieking Harpy, Heirloom Greatsword suddenly makes that Shrieking Harpy a lot more threatening. It's been really good for me. It can really turn the tide of a game with Queen Baronzia as well, so don't discount the effect there. It's just a good card. As a 1-of, it's fine. A lot of times you only need the 1 because it's going to keep returning to your hand. If it's not returning to your hand, it's because they used silence or some sort of effect on it, and you're probably benefiting because they got rid of that and then not some of your, other cards that you would want to protect as well. So it's been great for me. Yeah, that's pretty much the list. Not going to go huge into detail just because I have done tempo assassin deck spotlights in the past, so if you're kind of curious about how to step by step play through that and what the cards and the synergies do, I highly recommend checking out those videos. And as always, there's going to be a couple of games following me speaking as well, so you can see the deck in action, kind of see how it snowballs, how you generate tempo and continue to press your advantage. So thanks for watching, and as always, may you walk on warm sands. Alright, so we are going second against a warrior. And I don't normally, at least in my videos, call attention to the names of my opponents, right? So I don't want to do any shaming, but Burns My Butter is a fantastic name. We're sending back Shearpoint and Kano. Those are kind of no-brainers. We have the ring. Keeping the Kinsman so we at least have a 3-drop is tempting, but we really need to find 2 drops. So we are gonna ship that back as well. And we did find a 2-drop. And there you go. See, we got a
Of course, I'm on
nice,
your side.
pretty standard 2, 3, 4, 5 opener, though obviously with the ring we can't continue that path, so hopefully we find something to play in some of those other turns.
The Nords must take back Skyrim.
Vanguard, huh? Interesting. Vanguard that went face.
Didn't see this coming, eh? Of course, I'm on
We're
your
gonna save
side.
our ring charge and then just go this way. Also because I kind of want to ring into this next turn, see where that takes us.
For Ulfric
Little-
Stormcloak.
A little surprised by this, like it makes me wonder if the goal is to race me?
Didn't see this coming, eh?
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and take that because I don't want this to be able to transform yet. I want him to have to play another
Didn't see
card
this coming, eh?
to get that effect. We're gonna go and hide that because he's clearly running stuff with charge. So now at 4 he could play the
Orders.
Yep, battalion.
We'll take a few of them with us.
But we'll get this value trade here.
Didn't see this coming, eh?
Swing,
Didn't see this coming, eh?
swing. We're gonna lose the Cliff Racer, but we keep these alive, which I think is great for tempo for us. You know what? I actually think not. So I was considering we could curse this and then Cliff Racer into it, keeps both of these alive, but as long as this survives, we're gonna have like another curse plus Shearpoint potentially next turn, which is some pretty crazy stuff. Firebolt will clear the 2-1 later if necessary. Actually,
I used to be
think
an
we just do
adventurer
this.
like you.
I think we just do this.
I bow to your victory.
Yeah, see? I think that's good enough, right? You just push enough pressure. We had the Cliff Racer for reach if it got to that. Otherwise, Shearpoint was perfect tempo. That's how you do it. Alright. We're going second against Warrior again. A lot of Warriors this season, so not exactly a shot. That is a pretty solid opener, though. I mean, we have a 2-drop, we have a Firebolt to potentially protect it. And we have a 3-drop.
Of course, I'm on your side.
Of course, he's on our side. Let's go ahead and get a trader rolling. Only downside about this 3-drop as opposed to another one is we're going to hit and then play it. And if we give him a prophecy here, we have no way to respond.
Didn't see
I
this
mean, we
coming,
could slow
eh?
play it and just firebolt that, but we want to
I
generate
used to
the
be an
pressure
adventurer
and
like
not
you.
punish. Yeah, if they had a prophecy there, like, you're out of Magica, nothing you can do, but...
I'm ready for anything.
Okay.
Protect the Harbinger.
Still not enough to flip it, so that works out in our favor. Interesting. So, like, we could just ring Baron Zia and let this go and say, okay, we'll win that race, but
Didn't see this coming, eh?
I think, just given what we have over here, that just firebolting this so that it doesn't roll over is probably better. Saves our ring charge so that we can ring into Cliff Racer and then play another Cliff Racer afterwards, so... Oh yeah.
Unity.
We're just gonna probably push too much damage for our
Didn't see
opponent
this
to handle.
coming,
They
eh?
need prophecies to save them at this point. I'm going to do it on this side, just because this can't value trade on its own. So even if he takes this trade and he gives this the wallop and gets the 2-1, he then has to deal with this, and then we also have the Cliff Racer from hand. If he somehow guards up on both sides,
Fear me, mortal?
like so, then we can still Cliff Racer on this side for the value trade and push the 4. So that is a lot of pressure, and our opponent could not keep up. Tempo, tempo, tempo.